Ever notice how confidence can make everything smoother? Whether you're chasing a big goal or just want to feel good in your own skin, confidence is like your personal power-up. But here's the catch. Sometimes, without realizing it, we develop habits that quietly drain our confidence away. They creep into our thoughts, cloud our judgment, and stop us from reaching our full potential. Let's uncover these 10 habits that might be eroding your self-esteem and learn how to break free so you can shine your brightest. 1. Negative self-talk. We all have that little voice inside our heads that narrates our day-to-day lives. For some of us, it's a helpful companion that cheers us on. But for others, this internal dialogue turns sour, becoming a critic that constantly undermines our abilities. Statements like, "I'm not smart enough," "I'm terrible at this," or "I always mess up," might sound familiar to you. Over time, these critical thoughts become a habit that limits our potential. Negative self-talk convinces us that we're not capable, stops us from trying, and ultimately damages our confidence. Negative self-talk often stems from past experiences or societal expectations that shape our beliefs about ourselves. For instance, if you've encountered criticism in your formative years, you might have internalized those messages. Similarly, cultural norms that impose unrealistic standards can make you feel like you're always falling short. This internal critic can impact our self-esteem in significant ways. When we repeatedly hear these negative messages, we start believing them. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, where the fear of failure stops us from pursuing new opportunities. We remain stuck, and our confidence erodes as we convince ourselves that we're not good enough. The good news is that we can totally rewire our thinking and turn things around. First, you need to recognize the pattern. Have you noticed when that negative self-talk kicks in? Maybe it's when you're in a stressful situation or trying something new. Pinpointing those moments is key to breaking the cycle. Next, challenge those thoughts. When you catch yourself thinking, "I can't handle this," stop and ask yourself, "Is this really true, or am I just scared?" Try flipping the script to something like, "I'm learning and improving." It's all about seeing things from a fresh perspective. And hey, don't forget about positive affirmations. They can be powerful. Write down some upbeat phrases that counter those negative thoughts. Every day, remind yourself, "I'm not terrible at this. I have the ability to learn and grow." Repeating these can really help change the vibe and boost your confidence. 2. Perfectionism. Perfectionism is the idea that our work needs to be flawless to matter. While aiming high is admirable, this mindset often sets us up for disappointment and discouragement. Perfectionists tend to overanalyze their work, fear criticism, and are prone to procrastination. They get stuck in the cycle of aiming for unreachable standards and feeling crushed when they can't meet them. Perfectionism often originates from societal pressures or early experiences that made us feel our worth is tied to our achievements. When we constantly seek validation through our successes, any perceived failure is devastating. When perfectionism becomes a habit, it can drain your confidence. You become fearful of risks, avoiding new challenges because you're afraid of falling short. This mindset prevents you from embracing opportunities and makes you doubt your abilities, ultimately diminishing your self-esteem. Breaking free from perfectionism is possible. Here's how. First up, let's talk about setting realistic goals. Instead of chasing after perfection, why not aim for something you can actually achieve with the skills you have right now? Remember, everyone has to start somewhere, and learning is all about taking one step at a time. Then, think about progress over perfection. It's not about nailing everything perfectly on the first try. Every step you take is a win, even if things aren't 100% perfect. Celebrate those small victories because they're all part of your journey. And don't forget to practice some self-compassion. Be gentle with yourself. Nobody gets everything right all the time. Be patient with your progress and focus more on growing a little each day. 3. Comparing yourself to others. Have you ever scrolled through social media, looking at everyone else's highlight reel, and ended up feeling a bit down about your own life? That's the comparison trap in action. It's like looking through a distorted lens where you see the best of others and the not-so-great of yourself. This habit sneaks in quietly, but can leave you feeling like you're always a step behind, not quite good enough, or missing out. It's natural to look around and see how we stack up against others. After all, we're social creatures. But when we start using others' successes as a measuring stick for our own worth, it gets tricky. Maybe it's seeing a friend's new job or a neighbor's shiny car. Suddenly, our own achievements seem less shiny, and we feel a pang of envy or inadequacy. This constant comparison can really shake your confidence. You start doubting your journey and your pace, forgetting that everyone's path is unique. It's like running your race while watching someone else's lane. It only slows you down and messes with your stride. Here's how to step out of the comparison trap and refocus on your own journey. First, celebrate your own wins. Take time to recognize and celebrate your achievements, no matter how small they seem. Did you finish a project, help a friend, or finally organize that messy drawer? That's a win. Celebrate it. Next, you limit social media exposure. Remember, social media is a curated version of life. If it's making you feel less than, it's okay to step back and take a break. Focus on your real-life moments, not just the filtered snapshots online. Finally, practice gratitude. Start or end your day by jotting down a few things you're grateful for. This shift in focus can help you appreciate what you have instead of fixating on what you think you lack. By turning your attention back to your own path and embracing gratitude, you'll start to feel more secure in your journey and less concerned with everyone else's. This way, you rebuild your confidence step by step, focusing on your growth and your happiness. 4. Seeking constant validation. Have you ever caught yourself seeking approval from others, hoping they'd give you a pat on the back or a good job to feel validated? It's natural to enjoy recognition, but when we rely on others for validation all the time, we start losing confidence in our own instincts and self-worth. The more we depend on others' approval, the less we trust ourselves. From a young age, many of us are conditioned to seek approval from parents, teachers, or peers. It becomes a habit to look outside for validation instead of developing that inner compass that assures us we're on the right track. The praise feels good, and over time we crave it more and more. When you rely too much on external validation, your self-esteem becomes like a house of cards. If others aren't cheering you on, you start to doubt your abilities and question if you're on the right path. You might even adjust your goals and decisions to fit what others expect, rather than what you truly want. Break free from the approval trap by cultivating a sense of inner validation. Here's how. First, define your values. Take some time to clarify what's important to you, your values, goals, and principles. This will help you measure your success by your own standards, not others. When you know what truly matters to you, it becomes easier to trust your instincts. Next, acknowledge your successes. Celebrate your achievements, whether or not anyone else notices. Write them down, share them with a supportive friend, or simply give yourself a high five. Recognizing your efforts and accomplishments helps reinforce your sense of self-worth. Finally, build a supportive circle. Surround yourself with people who encourage you, but don't judge. Their support can bolster your confidence without making you overly dependent on their praise. It's all about having a community that lifts you up while you remain grounded in your own values. Trusting your instincts and believing in your worth can help you develop a stronger, more resilient foundation of self-esteem. When you don't need anyone else's approval to recognize your value, your confidence will soar. 5. Avoiding challenges. It's tempting to stick to what's familiar and safe, isn't it? We all like the comfort of routines and environments where we feel confident. But when avoiding challenges becomes a habit, it keeps us boxed in our comfort zones and stops us from discovering what we can truly achieve. The fear of failure or rejection is a big reason why we avoid challenges. We worry that stepping into unknown territory could lead to embarrassment, disappointment, or falling short. So we play it safe, stick to what we know, and convince ourselves that it's not worth the risk. Over time, avoiding challenges reinforces the idea that we're not capable of handling tough situations. It makes us hesitant to take risks, whether it's pursuing a new career, starting a business, or learning a new skill. This habit leaves our confidence bruised because we never give ourselves the chance to prove that we can overcome obstacles. To push beyond your comfort zone and take on challenges with courage. First, start small. You don't need to dive into a huge challenge right away. Begin with manageable goals that stretch your limits just a bit. As you build confidence from these smaller wins, you'll be more prepared to tackle bigger challenges. Next, reframe failure. Instead of seeing failure as the end, view it as a valuable learning opportunity. Every misstep brings lessons that can help you improve next time. This way, failure becomes a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. Then focus on growth. Shift your mindset from "I'm not good at this" to "I'm learning and I can get better." When you see challenges as chances for growth, they become exciting rather than intimidating. Stepping outside your comfort zone won't always be easy, but facing challenges head-on will help you build confidence in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. Each challenge you conquer makes you stronger and more resilient. 6. Procrastination. We all know the feeling. There's an important task to do, but instead of getting to work, we find ourselves scrolling through our phones or staring blankly into the fridge. Procrastination is a sneaky confidence killer because it gives short-term relief, but leaves us stressed and overwhelmed when deadlines loom. We often procrastinate because the task at hand feels too big, too complex, or just plain unpleasant. Sometimes fear of failure or perfectionism holds us back, making us hesitate before diving in. Instead of taking the first step, we put it off for later and convince ourselves that we'll get to it eventually. Putting things off might provide temporary relief, but the longer we delay, the more anxious and guilty we feel. As tasks pile up, it reinforces the belief that we're incapable of managing responsibilities. We lose faith in our ability to follow through, and this dents our self-esteem. To beat procrastination and restore your confidence. First, break down tasks. Large projects can feel overwhelming, but breaking them into smaller, manageable steps makes them easier to tackle. Each step you complete gives you a little win and motivates you to keep going. Next, set short, clear deadlines. Give yourself realistic, specific deadlines for each step. Instead of saying, "I'll write that report this week," try, "I'll draft the first section by tomorrow morning." Clear deadlines keep you on track and make big projects more manageable. Then, use the Pomodoro technique. Work in focused, 25-minute bursts, then take a short break. This technique helps you concentrate because you know you'll have downtime soon. It makes the task less daunting and helps maintain your energy and focus. Finally, reward yourself. Plan a treat for when you finish a task, a nice cup of coffee, a favorite snack, or a quick walk outside. Positive reinforcement makes it easier to stick to your plan and gives you something to look forward to. Remember, everyone procrastinates at times. By taking small, consistent steps, you'll find it easier to manage your tasks and feel more confident in your ability to handle challenges. 7. Dwelling on past failures. We've all had our share of slip-ups and setbacks. It's part of life. But sometimes those past failures haunt us, replaying in our minds like a broken record. We end up dwelling on what went wrong instead of learning from the experience and moving forward. Dwelling on past failures can stem from a desire to avoid repeating our mistakes. It's our brain's way of saying, "Don't do that again." But overthinking our past missteps often leads to self-blame and a fixed mindset that we're destined to fail. We might also ruminate because we're embarrassed, ashamed, or unsure how to make things right. When we constantly replay our past failures, it creates a fear of trying new things. We become hesitant to take risks or step outside our comfort zones because we're afraid of making the same mistakes. This mentality reinforces the belief that we're not capable of improvement, which further diminishes our confidence. Instead of dwelling on past failures, use them as stepping stones toward growth. Here's how. First, learn the lesson. Treat every setback as a learning opportunity. Write down what went wrong and what you would do differently next time. Use these insights to guide your future decisions. This way, Mistakes become valuable lessons rather than burdens. Next, stay present. Focus on the current moment instead of rehashing old mistakes. Mindfulness practices like deep breathing or meditation can help you keep your attention on the now. This helps prevent the past from clouding your present and future. Then, practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself and recognize that everyone makes mistakes. Remind yourself that failing once doesn't mean you're destined to fail forever. You deserve patience and understanding as you grow and learn. 8. Poor self-care. When life gets busy, it's all too easy to put our well-being on the back burner. We skip workouts, grab fast food on the run, and sacrifice sleep to meet deadlines. Poor self-care isn't just about our physical health. It can also take a toll on our confidence and energy levels. Many of us neglect self-care because we feel guilty about putting ourselves first. We tell ourselves there isn't time, or we prioritize work, family, and social obligations over our health. There's also the misconception that self-care has to be time-consuming or expensive, so we push it aside. When we don't take care of ourselves, our energy plummets, leaving us feeling tired and sluggish. This lack of vitality makes us more prone to anxiety, stress, and negative thinking, all of which contribute to lower self-esteem. Without a clear head and a well-rested body, it's tough to feel confident in any situation. Reclaim your confidence by incorporating these simple self-care habits into your daily routine. First, prioritize sleep. Aim for 7-9 hours of sleep each night. Create a calming bedtime ritual by dimming the lights, turning off screens, and relaxing with a book or gentle music. Quality sleep helps you wake up refreshed and ready to tackle the day. Next, eat nourishing foods. Make time for balanced meals with plenty of fruits, vegetables, and lean proteins. Plan ahead to keep healthy snacks on hand for busy days. Eating well fuels your body and mind, keeping you energized and focused. Then, move your body. Exercise is a fantastic way to boost your mood and energy levels. Find activities you enjoy, whether it's walking, dancing, swimming, or yoga, and aim for at least 30 minutes daily. Regular movement keeps you fit and lifts your spirits. Finally, unwind and recharge. Schedule downtime to relax and recharge, whether that's through meditation, reading, or spending time with loved ones. These moments help reset your mind and reduce stress. When you prioritize self-care, you send a message to yourself that your well-being matters. This act of self-love builds a stronger foundation of confidence, helping you tackle challenges with renewed energy and purpose. 9. Surrounding yourself with toxic people. You've probably heard the saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. It's a reminder that the company we keep can significantly impact how we see ourselves. If you're surrounded by toxic people who constantly criticize or belittle you, it's no wonder your confidence feels like it's circling the drain. Toxic relationships often develop slowly, and it can be tough to recognize the negative influence right away. Sometimes we stick around because of shared history, loyalty, or fear of being alone. We might also convince ourselves that things will improve or that we can change their behavior. Spending time with people who dismiss your achievements or invalidate your feelings can be incredibly damaging to your self-esteem. Their negativity can make you believe that you're not worthy of love, respect, or success, reinforcing self-doubt and keeping you from achieving your potential. Dealing with toxic people can be tough, but it's crucial for maintaining your confidence and well-being. Here's how you can manage and improve your relationships. First, identify the toxicity. Pay attention to how you feel after spending time with someone. If you consistently feel drained, belittled, or guilty, it might be time to reevaluate that relationship. Trust your feelings. They can be strong indicators of whether a relationship is healthy or not. Next, set boundaries. Create clear boundaries to protect your mental health. Be honest about your needs and how you'd like to be treated. If necessary, limit your interactions. Boundaries are essential for maintaining your peace of mind and self-respect. Then surround yourself with support. Seek out people who encourage you and believe in your abilities. They can be friends, family, mentors, or colleagues who genuinely care about your well-being. These supportive relationships will help boost your confidence and provide a positive influence. Finally, invest in self-care. Spend time on activities that nurture you emotionally and physically, like hobbies, exercise, or meditation. Taking care of yourself helps replenish your confidence and maintain a positive mindset. Letting go of toxic people can be difficult, but it's worth it to make space for healthier, more supportive relationships. When you're surrounded by those who uplift you, you'll find your confidence soaring. 10. Lack of personal boundaries. Saying yes to others can feel like the polite thing to do, but when we always prioritize others' needs ahead of our own, we can end up feeling drained and undervalued. A lack of personal boundaries means we struggle to say no, even when it's necessary for our well-being. Sometimes we're taught that saying no is selfish or rude. We might worry about disappointing others or fear that we'll lose relationships if we assert ourselves. For others, it's a matter of habit. They've become so accustomed to putting others first that they ignore their own needs. Without healthy boundaries, we can become overburdened with responsibilities, often feeling like we're being taken for granted. This constant feeling of being stretched too thin damages our confidence and makes us feel powerless. We might even start resenting those around us because we've given too much of ourselves. Reclaim your power and confidence by learning to establish and maintain personal boundaries. Here's how. First, identify your limits. Get clear on what behaviors you're comfortable with and where your limits lie. This might include how much time you can give, what kind of language is acceptable, or what responsibilities you're willing to take on. Knowing your boundaries is the first step in protecting your well-being. Next, learn to say no. Practice saying no politely but firmly. You don't need to explain yourself or justify your decision. A simple, "I'm sorry, but I can't take this on right now," will do. Saying no can be empowering and helps you maintain control over your time and energy. Then, communicate clearly. When setting a boundary, be straightforward and honest. Let people know your limits and expectations, and don't be afraid to reinforce them if necessary. Clear communication helps others understand and respect your boundaries. Remember, setting boundaries isn't selfish. It's essential for your mental and emotional health. By protecting your energy and setting clear limits, you'll feel more in control of your life and boost your confidence. Confidence is like a muscle that needs consistent nurturing and attention. Negative self-talk, perfectionism, and avoiding challenges are just a few of the habits that can weaken it over time. But by recognizing these 10 habits and making intentional changes, you can rebuild your self-esteem and tackle life's challenges with renewed energy and purpose. Flip the script on the inner critic, set healthy boundaries, and embrace challenges as opportunities for growth. With practice and self-awareness, you can reclaim your confidence and live boldly. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, be undefeatable.